So today's look is on this look right here. This is just a really beautiful blown out gold smoky eye. So I'm going to start off first by revealing the shape of the brows, and I do this by brushing up the hairs. We get to see kind of what we're working with and kind of the texture and the shape of the brows. So then I go in with an Anastasia Beverly Hills brow definer in the shade medium brown, and I'm just running it along the brows and creating a nice shape. So to start off, I do go in with like a harsh line, but then you'll see me using the spoolie part of the brow, and this is to brush the product up and into the hairs of the brow to make the brow look really fluffy and really natural. Just in case I talk a little fast, I'm going to link all of the products and all of the brushes down below in the description bar as well. Moving on to the eyeshadow base now. I'm using the PLOUISE eyeshadow base in the shade Rumor. And I'm taking that on a Nima flat topped concealer brush. And just applying that all over the lid and just patting the concealer into place as well. Because we're not going to set the concealer, patting it into place kind of helps to set it without using a powder. And this is our chance to clean up the brows and really give the brow a beautiful lift. Now I'm going in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm taking the shade Roxanne on a Zoeva 227 brush. I'm concentrating that into the crease on the kind of outer corner of the crease and then buffing it out. And when there's less product on my brush, I start to buff it higher into the crease, like up towards the brow bone. But firstly, I am just kind of trying to build up the colour and the intensity. So I'm kind of patting the product on and then blending it out. I'm going in now with INGLOT shade 60 bronzer on a Zoeva 228 brush, and I am softening the edges of that Roxanne shade. And this just gives it a really blown out effect. Going back in with the Roxanne shade, just because sometimes when you do buff it out, it will lose its intensity. So I always go back in just to strengthen up the colour, and then back in with the bronzer again, just to make sure the blend is okay. I'm just going in here with a clean blending brush, and there's nothing on this brush, it's just to blend out the edges and make sure there's no harsh lines. Now going in with a Zoeva 224 brush and the shade Chip from the Jaclyn Hill palette, focusing this on the lower lash line and then up into the crease to give a really smoky edge. Using that same shade, I'm going in with a Zoeva flat shader brush, and I'm just running this along the lash line to give a smoky effect. And then just blending it out. So to stick down pigments, I like to use a creamy base. So I'm after taking the INGLOT gel liner in the shade 95, and I'm just patting that along the lid anywhere I want that pigment to stick, and then I'm going to blend this gel into the edges of the shadow so it's really smooth and seamless. And then I'm taking Wish pigment on the same brush, I'm just flipping it around and I'm just patting the pigment over the gel base. And it just looks beautiful and intense, and it's so long lasting too. So I'm going back over the lash line with a little bit more of that Chip eyeshadow, just to smoke it out. Coating the lashes with some mascara. These are just disposable mascara ones that I get from AliExpress, which are essential when doing makeup on clients. And now I'm going in with some lashes. These are the SOSUBYJ New York lashes. They're available in Pennies or Primark if you're from the UK. I just use a tweezers and some duo glue to apply my lashes, and then I help my client open. And to make sure that the band of the lashes is blended in really nicely, I'm going back in with some INGLOT 77 black gel liner, and this is just covering the band of the lashes. Now I'm going in with the black shade from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I am just pressing that over the gel liner to set it. Now going in with a makeup wipe, I'm just cleaning up any fallout from under the eyes. So now I'm taking the FLORMAR Double Radiance Primer, and this is the key of getting your client's face to match their body. If they have tan on but they don't tan their face, This is key because it will just bronze up the face so that when you put the foundation on, it actually has a really gorgeous base to sit on. Because sometimes I find when you do try and match up a client's tan with foundation and their face is very pale underneath, the foundation doesn't sit properly, and during the night I do find if they sweat or if the foundation moves, you can really notice where it's moved. So moving on to foundation now, I'm taking the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. I keep getting mixed up with all the different NARS foundations because they're all very similar. But I'm using this on a Nema brush, and this is a kabuki, kind of like a round head kabuki brush, but it's beautiful for applying foundation. It gives a really buffed out and flawless finish to the skin. So when I'm applying my foundation, I do like to kind of pat it into the skin and buff at the same time. Patting it into the skin helps with the coverage and helps keep it on longer. Now I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution concealer, and this is in the shade C7. This is the one that's meant to be like the Tarte Shape Tape. It's a beautiful concealer. It's not as full coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape is, but it's still really beautiful. So I absolutely adore this concealer. And it's like €5 or something. It's really cheap. It's under a tenner. I think it's like 5 something. But it's really good. Now I'm just using a Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm just patting that concealer into place and buffing it into the skin as well. So now moving on to our cream contour. I'm using the SOSUBYSJ Complete Contouring Kit in the shade 2. And I'm just bringing this on the forehead, under the cheekbone, and then under the jawline. And I'm just blending and buffing out into the skin. This is a really easy cream product to work with, and it blends out really beautifully because it is very warm toned. Just bringing it up the size of the nose as well, anywhere the sun would naturally hit. And now I'm going in with some cream blusher. This is actually a lipstick. It's from FLORMAR, and it is only about $5.95. It's one of their deluxe cashmere lipsticks. So it's like a semi-matte finish, but it's absolutely beautiful and blends so easy onto the skin. So this is in the shade Natural Rosewood. And I find it works best when you use your fingers to apply it. Then I go back in with the bronzing brush with no extra product on it, and I just use that to melt that blush into the skin and make it look really more natural. So moving on to some cream highlighting now. I apply a cream highlighter everywhere you would a powder one. This one is from Milk Makeup. I'm pretty sure it's only available in America. I got it when I was in New York in Sephora, but any cream highlight that you have will do for this. And I just find, again, this works really well with your fingers because your fingers carry like a natural heat and a natural oil, so it helps just kind of to press everything in and really melt it into the skin so it looks like skin and really natural. So now I'm going in with some powders. So I always set the creams with like the matching powder. So I'm going in with a powder bronzer to set the cream bronzer. So this is MAC Give Me Sun, and I'm patting that over anywhere that we put the cream. I initially go in and pat first because if we went in and started to swipe, then the cream underneath will start to lift. So you want to go in first and pat everything into place, and then you can kind of use more swipe emotions then. This is a MAC Extra Dimension Blush in Fairly Precious. It is beautiful. I even love this blush on its own without using any highlighter. For more mature clients that don't want like a blinding highlight, but if you're like me, you'll probably put on highlighter on top of this. But there is a beautiful glow to it. The powder that I'm using to set the center of the face is a Maybelline Fit Me powder. It's the Matte and Poreless range, and oh my god, it leaves the skin absolutely flawless. I adore this powder so much. It's so high end for such a cheap price. And I'm just using Benefit Hoola bronzer now. This is just a little bit cooler tone than the Give Me Sun, which is a little bit orangey. So it's a nice contrast, and it's really nice to contour the nose and kind of just give an extra dimension to the cheekbones too. So I'm just using a small Nema brush, and it's just like an eyeshadow blender brush. This is just really good for some detail and work like nose contouring. Now I'm putting in some INGLOT 77 gel liner, which is really black. Just give your client a little minute, because sometimes this can be uncomfortable when it's going into the waterline. So give them a little minute to relax before you go on. And now I am just running some COSTA RICHIE pencil from MAC. It's just an eye kohl pencil, but I run that underneath the lash line just so the powders stick to it better and give it much more of a smokier, long lasting effect. So I'm going in with the same shadows that we used above. They must come down, so what goes up must come down. And I'm using Roxanne, and now I am using that INGLOT 60 bronzer now, just to blend everything out. Now going in to line the lips, I'm using Cappuccino lip liner from Rimmel. This is one of my favourite nude liners, and it is so cheap. It is so good too. It's really good quality. It's just lining the lips. And now we're going to go in with some Honey Love lipstick from MAC. This is my favourite nude. I think this is like my third tube of this. I just love it so much. It's my go-to nude lip. The camera cut out on me applying gloss, but it's the Peaches and Cream Honey Lip Gloss. And yeah, that's the finished look. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. Any questions, just leave them below in the comment section and I will get back to you. Bye!